person is unfit to hold office, she must be removed. But President has
ATM, Usiso from the ATM is speaking. Says the president is panicking. Why is he removing the public protector today?
It is a deeper problem than before, deeper margin than before. We see it as a confirmation of what other friends have said. There's a lot that you can get from the president which proves that he has violated one of the oaths of office or one of the breaches in the Constitution.
Yes.
This is just an indication of a very panicking head of state.
Panicking head of state, he says.
Entitled by all powers and Constitution to investigate this matter. Because
he says that what Ramaphosa did today by suspending Sibosiso Mkhwebane, his panicking nature shows that Arthur Fraser might have something really important that will cause the president to panic so much that on that day you would suspend the public protector. Sibosiso Mncwabe, ATM spokesperson.
Indeed, Sibosiso Mkhwebane from the One Movement leader Mmusi Maimane joining us.
We go to Mmusi Maimane.
Mmusi, good evening to you and welcome. Your thoughts and reactions to the suspension, and also straight after.
I want to take a picture of Mmusi Maimane.
Developments that unfolded in Parliament.
Yeah, good evening and good evening to fellow South Africans. Look, obviously the battle between the president and the public protector has been ongoing. The question on the table is whether the president, given that there's an investigation into him at this point, given that there's a history of litigation between the two, whether the president is the most suited person to execute the decision to suspend.
Yes, sir.
Because at this point in time, it can only be read in political terms as opposed to legal terms.
Yes.
And so my urgency would have been
yes.
an independent voice headed up by the judiciary
yes.
should be able to decide on whether or not a suspension.
An independent voice should be the one suspending Mkhwebane, not the president.
And the position of the public protector.
Yes.
Do you believe, like the ATM has just said to us now, that it seems as if the president's panicking?
Look, the matter that has been taking place regarding his farm, regarding the millions of, are matters that should be taken very seriously. I think that the president has a case to explain, given that
if they are taken seriously, then the public protector must not be suspended on the week that those revelations are coming out.
For the ANC's Integrity Committee, well, it's not the ANC's money we are describing. We are talking about the South African regulation. And therefore, again, to my earlier point, it is inappropriate in many ways for the president to make a decision at this point.
It is inappropriate for the president to make a decision like that at this point. Because it makes a political statement that I'm fighting using Mkhwebane.
The president is compromised in this regard.
Yes, the president is so compromised to be making such decisions.
This is a
the wrong move right there.
And I think the president is under pressure to deal with his enemies as quickly as possible.
Maimane says president is under pressure to deal with his enemies. The ATM says that president is panicking.
We need to require that actually an independent commission takes action.
So what do you say then? Or what are the actions of the president say to you about where he feels his true accountability lies?
Well, that is the thing, and that's why in some ways we've been fighting for the amendment to the electoral bill, because the president doesn't fear the South African public. He doesn't feel he has to account to the public. And so much so he doesn't respect the institutions that emanate from the constitution that was signed for by the people. So institutions like Parliament are absolutely vital, which is where the president must account. At this point in time, the only action the president must take is an ad hoc committee must be established in Parliament that comprises of financial intelligence people to investigate and for the president to account. It would be no different if there was a U.S. president who had to appear before the Senate. It would be no different between any other part of Africa where there's a direct election of the president. They'd have to appear before Parliament. Going to the Integrity Commission is a waste of time, in my humble opinion. And Didi Mabuza, the Deputy President, has proven that point over and over again. Now the only debate that we have is why is Parliament so useless? And furthermore, that we need to establish and strengthen that, because that is the apex of accountability. If Parliament doesn't do its job, the only next move that is left for the people of this country is to go to the court and ultimately in 2024
Yes.
to recognize its.
But when Parliament is doing its job, when the EFF is voicing out, the Speaker of Parliament gets the Parliament police to throw those people out, to throw the EFF people out. That was just so disheartening to see an elected person, an elected member of Parliament being picked up by people who are not elected by Parliament. You understand? And throw them out just like that. No, the Speaker of Parliament and the ANC are wrong. When the ANC members talk whatever they want, the Speaker never says anything bad about them. She never sends any police to kick them out. Only the EFF. That is actually not fair.
It leads us to think that there is no one in control, that the plane is flying, the pilot's not in the cockpit.
You summed it up well when you said that in many ways we're an autopilot, but we have been for a while. And we suffered primarily because of majoritarianism. When the ANC can vote in or vote out as it pleases, whether the facts line up or not, it's a military organization dictated to say, let us protect our leader, whoever they deem at the time.
Yes.
I really do think now we've got to work out the best way to return accountability back to Parliament. And the only way you can do that is to bring an electoral reform that makes sure that politicians fear the people. Secondly, ask for Parliament to be strengthened in terms of who the Speaker is. And then fourthly, ensure that when citizens...
Yes, the Speaker in Parliament must be changed.
Some of the political parties are not really interested in accountability, but rather are committed to grandstanding, which is what I think some of what took place this afternoon was an indicator of.
So,
grandstanding by man is the only language that is understood in this country.
To be instituted. Again, we're very familiar with how these things work. It's just layers upon layers upon layers that cost money, that take up a lot of time, and don't bring immediate accountability. Is this the only route that's open to us now?
Not at all. I think an investigation.
So here we are, South Africa, on this day of June. I think, what is the date today? Today is 9 June 2022. The presidency is under attack. I repeat, the presidency is under attack. And we have firing bullets back to Fosisiwe Mkhwebana, fired today by, actually suspended today by President Cyril Ramaphosa. And we do know that Cyril Ramaphosa and Fosisiwe Mkhwebana have been having legal runnings in the previous years, and with the pro-Ramaphosa faction of the ANC accusing Mrs. Mkhwebana for being pro-Rate or pro-Jacob Zuma. And therefore, I think we can interpret this move by the president today as an indication that the president believes that it is the Rate faction of the ANC that is attacking him. Therefore, he made a move to suspend Fosisiwe Mkhwebana. And as you can see, the ANC is divided anyway, but even though they always show a strong united front in Parliament, it will be because they do not like to fight their factional battles in Parliament. That's one thing about the ANC that you must comment, actually. So it's actually a commendable thing. Even if half of them do not support Ramaphosa, they will just keep quiet in Parliament and do nothing, and they will fight at the NEC, and then at the NEC, when they get enough numbers to remove Ramaphosa, and then they get in the right person to put, then they will come also and also support any motion to remove the president, even if it's coming from the EFF. But not the DA. Obviously, the DA cannot remove Ramaphosa this time around. You see, the DA wanted to remove Jacob Zuma because Jacob Zuma was not pro-white. But Ramaphosa is pro-white. These individuals, these few monopolists in South Africa that keep the country backward, that make sure that there is no development in South Africa. Those people that sponsor DA and Ramaphosa, They will not want Ramaphosa to go out, but then now they are under attack. It's very interesting times, because when Jacob Zuma was under attack, these pro-monopolist parties like the DA supported that move, and the ANC came in to remove Jacob Zuma, right? But now DA finds itself in a tough place, because they are pro-capitalist president who is a president for the narrow interests of the rich billionaires like him, who are majority of them are white, and a few other fellow black billionaires who are benefiting from this unfair system in South Africa that actually benefits those that are connected, the few that are connected, whilst the rest are wallowing in poverty and malnutrition. So now parties like the EFF want Ramaphosa not to be president anymore, and obviously the ANC will come in later. The DA is stuck there because they have to look for another capitalist within the ANC whom they will put their stooge there that will make sure that ordinary black South Africans will carry on suffering forever and ever, because Ramaphosa was their guy who was going to keep white people with all the wealth and all the power, and all those people that are close to whites, that are almost whites, the colored whites, the Indians. They are the ones who are benefiting in this country. They're the ones who are living in posh houses, driving nice cars, having big businesses, and getting bank loans. No black person from Khayelitsha is going to go and ask for a 5 million bank loan and be given. They will not be given. Do you understand? That is the economic structure of this country. It's structured in such a way that those people, the white people, the white coloreds, and the Indians are the ones who succeed. And the blacks, if you are black and you have to make money, you have to be ANC. You have to get tenders. You only have to be a tenderpreneur, and anytime they want to destroy you, they can just go on the record and say, you got this tender illegal. Have you ever heard on TV they talk about the coloreds or Indians who have got illegal tenders, except the Guptas? The Guptas were the wrong Indians because they were dealing with Jacob Zuma. I know, as taken capital, I know a lot of white people, colored people, Indians who actually have got wrong, who benefit from these tenders, but you have never seen them on TV or newspapers, because they own this thing, this media. Understand? They own it. They run this country like it is their own personal thing, and the rest of the black people, majority, are wallowing in poverty in Khayelitsha and Gugulethu and Nyanga. There, thousands of people staying in a very shanty towns, with no proper water, no proper electricity, and then because and then when you get a president like Jacob Zuma, who at least tried to level the playing field, we must come gun blazing at him because he is disturbing the status quo. Now their boy Cyril Ramaphosa is being attacked now. The raid forces are attacking back now. And now, instead, Wilson doesn't know what to hide. He cannot come to parliament and say that he supports Ramaphosa. He had to come up with some statement that is anti-Ramaphosa, but you can see in his face that he's not happy. When they are asking him about Posisiwe Mkhwebane, you see he's celebrating, saying that the president is right. How does Steenhuisen really think? How can he support Ramaphosa remove Posisiwe Mkhwebane today, on a day like this, and he said that he's gonna go and celebrate? Actually, he forgot that no, man, we must be seen to be anti-Ramaphosa today. But we see now, actually, his mask came out when he was supporting the sacking of Mkhwebane, because Mkhwebane was against what Ramaphosa does with them. Because the policies of Ramaphosa are benefiting them. Those white people that support, yes. We mustn't be afraid of saying these things. We mustn't be afraid of being attacked and being told that we are racist. No, we're not racist, because the money in South Africa knows color. Money knows race. If you're black, you're not going to get it. Okay? Let me repeat this again. If you're black, you're not going to get it. If you are white, you will easily get it. So it's not racism. It's what it is. We're calling the thing for what it is. You see, when President Cyril Ramaphosa is not working for the interest of black people, God will destroy him. Holy is the Lord. Don't play. Work. liberalize this economy, open up this economy so that it can serve the interest of everybody. How can you say that you are a rich country? How can you say that South Africa is a rich country when we have got people who do not have houses, people who stay in shacks? How can you say that? People who work and earn 3,500 rand. What is 3,000, 4,000 rand a month? What is 20 rand, 21 rand an hour? What is that? In a rich country, and then you say that we've got diamonds, we've got platinum and all that stuff. For who? Who is it saving? Who is it saving? Whose interest is it saving? You see, the rich still getting richer, and what's the poor are getting poorer. Mabahambe, akahambe she, makamongameli nabo-DA mabahambe, baphele mzazi, mabahambe baphume behlale phala farm yabo. No. I'm not going to apologize for standing on behalf of the millions of South Africans, black South Africans, more specifically, that are suffering at the hands of these white imperialists. Imperialism is still alive in this country, South Africa. Up at that change face, it changed name. They put a black face to lead there, but basically the structure of the economy is still structured in such a way that if you're a black man, you are going to suffer. If you give birth to kids here in this country, black kids, it's most likely that they will never become anything. If they really become something in this country, when they become ANC, they have to commit fraud. That is why there's criminalism in the locations, because they've got no other option to do. What can they do except take drugs and go around and rob people? They even rob each other because there's no other option. There's nothing else to do. This country is rich. If the president wants, he can open up this economy if he wants, but he doesn't want to because the DA and their white friends do not want him to do that. Go on the other Fraser one, show us more. Reveal more, make it more and more. Reveal more what you knew. What made you keep quiet? Speak some more. Holy is the Lord. Do not play. Do not play. Do not play. I said do not play. Do not play. I said do not play. I told you the Lord is angry for this country. I told you God is not leaving any stone unturned. I said God is not leaving any stone unturned. Hold it. Do not play. This is just the beginning. More is coming. I said this is just the beginning. More is coming. Do not play. Do not play. They are still debating there in Parliament. I don't even know what they're debating with. Julius Malema is not there anymore.
Of bid windows in renewable energy storage, gas and coal. In conclusion, Chairperson, the presidency budget must
renewable resources. You know, something very important I just remembered. When the president was making a speech, he spoke about Eskom and independent power producers, bringing independent power producers to the grid and allowing municipalities to buy electricity from independent producers. Now, it will appear to you that, well, this is opening up the economy and helping the woes of Eskom. For me, the way I see Eskom problem are actually deliberate. They're actually man-made. There's no reason why Eskom must be doing load shedding. It is because it is man-made. Man-made. Eskom is being attacked by the people that want the privatization of electricity production in this country. And one of the people that are pushing for that agenda is none other our billionaire friend, Johan Rupert. These are the people that actually want independent production. Why do they want so that they can charge us a leg and a half for electricity? The very same people that were using Glencore, same people they with their forever green contracts, the very same people that want Eskom to pay 550 rand a ton for coal, so that they can siphon money from the South Africans. Now they want Eskom to come down on its knees so that it will be palatable for Parliament to accept private electricity producers, and then they will sell electricity at a very high cost. To them, it's about profit. You understand this? They want to monopolize in the electrical sector. Eskom, since it is government owned, it should be the sole supplier of electricity. It must supply electricity at a low cost to to the people and businesses in South Africa, but the monopolists who want to have their hands everywhere, I actually want to take over Eskom as well. You see, this is but the setting is very little by leg, and Ramaphosa was saying it today and allowing this thing to happen because you people in South Africa are going to say, well, yeah, maybe that is gonna help because Eskom is failing. Eskom is not failing ordinarily. Eskom is made to look like it is failing. All of these things that are happening, all of this what you call it, this load shedding, they are manufactured so that it will be politically palatable for you to accept independent producers, which are the monopoly capitalists who now want to monopolize electrical production, and they will go on to all state-owned enterprises, make sure that they fail. I told you that these capitalists, they make ANC look like it fails. They also want to make state-owned enterprises to look like they are failures. Why? So that they can take over. There is an important part of SOEs to be owned by the government. Why? So that they will not be profit-driven organizations, but they are organizations that are made to provide services and goods for the nation. But if they are privatized, they will be for profit. And what do CEOs what is the mandate of the CEO? To maximize shareholder profit at all cost, just not all stakeholders, but just shareholders. But as a nation, the people, the public is a stakeholder. That is important. So it is important to keep the SOEs within the government. Okay. This thing that the SOEs are not performing is actually a deliberate attack on SOEs, so that they can have that narrative that SOEs do not work when they are owned by the government. Therefore, they have to be private owned. That they are privatizing those sectors, monopolizing those sectors, making this economy even hard. Prices are gonna be much higher for the poor black people that are suffering. So they will be deeply entrenched into further poverty. And therefore, I do not support what the president spoke today about bringing private players in electrical production, because they are going to do the same thing with PRASA, they're going to do the same thing with SABC. Well, if they privatize SABC, if SABC is no longer owned by the government, well, it will all be owned by the monopolists, which means all media in South Africa is going to be owned by these monopolists who push their narrow political agenda. And they will also own Eskom power generation, which means that they can charge anything for us for electricity, and they want to own SAA as well, so that public transport as well. I'm talking about PRASA, that is public transport, which means that every single aspect of our life is going to be owned by these monopolies. Once they own everything in this country, it will be few rich billionaires who are going to own everything in South Africa, and the blacks won't own nothing. You see, my people, that is where the Berkeley is at. That is what they are doing here. That is their plan. That is what it is all about. That is what all this load shedding is all about. I mean, South Africa has got experts. You think that Eskom is so hard, not to have load shedding? You think it's so hard? No. They have got experts. It's very easy. It's not difficult. It's deliberate. It's done. It's deliberately done. You know what I'm talking about? Even the black people that are made to run these SOEs, when they actually steal money, from the SOEs, they are instructed by their monopolists that you must steal, you must be corrupt, and the environment is made in such a way that they can be corrupt and be easily corrupt. Why do they do so? So that the ownership will not be state-owned, but will be in the hands of the few. In the hands of the few billionaires. A privately run economy of South Africa will be tantamount to a privately owned country. So the 55 or 60 million South Africans are going to be owned by a few people who run this economy, who run this country. Holy is the Lord. Do not play. This is where these people are taking this country to. So an attack on advocate Mkhwebane, to me, it looks like as an attack on the sovereignty and the integrity and the goodwill of the people of South Africa. And in this country, the Spirit of God is here to work a miracle. What I'm going to say to those billionaires that want to take this country, it shall not happen. The Holy Ghost is against you, says. I said the Holy Ghost is against you, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you are old. white woman. The Lord showed me another face. He said that this is an old white woman. If you really call out her name, she will pee on herself and die. So do not play. God is at work. He was going to defend the interests of the majority of the people that are suffering, because they do not know what is going on in Parliament. They do not understand the behind the scenes that you rich and few are doing in this country. And as a prophet of God, I will call you out that God says, stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing. You should make this government work for the people. You should make this government run right. Stop making it easy for people to commit fraud, to commit criminalism, so that you can come back later and use it against them. So that when they use it against them, you'll be forcing them to support the narrow interest of the very rich who want to own this country. Holy is the Lord, don't play.